Tourism leaders from all over the state came together in Bangor today for the first time since the pandemic began. Angela Luna takes us there.
The Travelution is Here. That was the theme of the long-awaited two-day event for those who work to bring tourists to vacation land each year. Hundreds of Maine's tourism leaders were in attendance for the Governor's Conference on Tourism at the Cross Insurance Center in Bangor.
If you look at visitors to Maine, their interest in coming back is significantly higher than most other destinations, and that's all about you and the experiences that you offer.
It brings together tourism and hospitality professionals from across the state for networking, professional development opportunities. It's no surprise tourism is one of Maine's highest grossing industries. In 2022, tourists spent nearly $8.6 billion in our state, supporting 151,000 jobs. Janet Mills addressed the crowd by thanking them for all their efforts during the pandemic.
Our strong recovery is in large part thanks to your innovation, your pivoting, the word of the decade, right? Pivoting, your adaptability and your resilience, all of which allowed us to safely welcome visitors from around the world.
4 Maine business leaders were awarded at the conference. One of them was Paul Coulombe from the Country Club of Boothbay Harbor, the recipient of the Governor's Award for Tourism Excellence. Houston University College of Business, School of Hospitality, Sport and Tourism Management were also among the winners with the Leadership and Growth Award. Even though tourism continues to bring revenue to the coastal regions in our state, tourism leaders would like to see more visitors across all regions of Maine.
Well, there's a lot that can be improved upon in Maine. There are always opportunities when you're marketing, and the opportunity we have in this state is to look at stewardship of our natural resources, and we also have the opportunity to look at how do we spread it out seasonally and how do you spread it out regionally. A lot of the visitation is based on the coast. We want to get visitation to all parts of the state.
Angela Luna, WABI TV5 News, Bangor.